And I myself have a role playing internationally in terms of looking at the whole labor market arrangements in tourism and how we can enable a return to full employment as we had in 2019 and then to go beyond that. So Jamaica has been impacted by this problem, and our local and foreign investment partners seek to employ local workers in their organization in a bid to realize the returns. The issue is therefore, Madam Speaker, one of skilled labor supply being appropriately aligned to a fully developed compensation strategy that is designed to attract and retain the best of our labor force. Achieving this type of harmony is a pathway to resolving a very crippling issue of the industry, which will only become worse as the expansion of the sector continues apace. We continue to make solid advancement in this area, Madam Speaker, and filling some of the gaps through private and public sector efforts. However, some of these issues persist, and innovative solutions will have to be found and fast-tracked. And I think that some of it we have been hearing about. Prime Minister have been mentioning it, Minister of Labour has been mentioning it, and sector interests have been mentioning it. And it is for us to understand that as we continue to train, develop more skills, to certify more workers, to be able to classify them, Madam Speaker, and then to remunerate according to classification, the industry becomes more attractive, including some of the social measures that I mentioned earlier on. And so we think that we will be able to cover the grounds in short order. However, in the interim, there are issues and there are problems. And so whilst we are not making a call about bringing in, foreign workers or anything like that, we are making the point that we will have to ensure that the capacity to deliver on the demand that this recovery is presenting is here in Jamaica, and we do not lose out because of human capital disruptions. Very, very important. Now, achieving this type of harmony, Madam Speaker, is the pathway to resolving that very crippling problem. The second, of course, has to do with our supply chain logistics in general. And the member from West St. Andrew who will speak next, and I have had a lot of discussions on that. And we have to look at how to enable the sufficiency of supplies so that this great, what we call entrepause period, when everything is happening again and people are moving and people are consuming and people are buying and people are traveling. And the story is that of all the activities on planet Earth now that will take a beating in a recession, travel and tourism remains number one of those that will not be touched. And that's an interesting point. And we see it happening everywhere. So we have to build capacity here for goods and services and food and parts and equipment and all the other supplies that are going to be in our plant and machinery afloat.
The Tourism Minister, the Honourable Edmund Bartlett, making his contribution to the budget debate. More in a moment.
I see trees of green. Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high-quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3 o'clock. The preceding coverage of the opening sectoral debate present.
what a wonderful.
Here's the Tourism Minister once again.
The rest of the Americas. So we are excited about moving forward with that. I've established a team under Wilfred Bagaloo to give us a full outline as to how this logistics supply center can be established and made functional in Jamaica. Madam Speaker, global inflation is another such challenge and concern that we have. As the global supply chain challenges and labor shortages, specifically, I know, go hand in hand, Madam Speaker, with inflation, and the impact on the industry is huge as it is varied. The high airline ticket prices, higher food prices, higher goods prices, labor costs increase, higher energy costs, and so on. And all those are factors that we have to deal with. So, Madam Speaker, capacity constraints and public order issues are more significant now than they were pre-COVID-19. And I want everyone to listen to this one for me, especially my friends on the other side. Because, Madam Speaker, The pandemic and the current boom in tourism members has drawn more and more of our citizens into the tourism space, offering a myriad of goods and services. So there's also a good thing, Madam Speaker, that so many more people are coming into the tourism space. But it also can be a bad thing if order and criminality and poor practices are made to creep in and provide, Madam Speaker, a disruption of the destination assurance that we offer to our visitors. So it takes one bad incident, Madam Speaker, just one damage at a location, and it destroys the destination, not just for weeks or months, but for years. I think we have a duty to ensure that persons entering this space follow the rules and are respectful of the importance of law and order. And Madam Speaker, I have a difficulty when we try to excuse disorder on the basis of color, class, race, social standing, poor, rich, white, black, young, old. And I think that we have to take a strong position. All of us in this house, Madam Speaker, on both sides, an opportunity for one side. It is to enable a possibility for all sides. And if once we understand that, Madam Speaker, then I'm sure our rhetoric will change and our actions equally. So, Madam Speaker, I must also underscore that even though Jamaica is perceived in some quarters of having a challenge in terms of safety, the record shows that our record of visitor safety in Jamaica is enviable across the world, with a record of 0.1% of all the crimes committed against our visitors. And I think that this is something that we should take note of. And when the member from St. James Northwest and our Minister of National Security and the Police Commissioner announced a 20% reduction in crime in the first quarter of this year, that was good news for all of us, and I think we want to commend them. Madam Speaker, our roadways and our easement expansion are the conduits to the resort areas, and they must become important, Madam Speaker, for all of us to manage together. Our Prime Minister has outlined a number of plans to begin the expansion of these roadways, including highways, and our Minister of Finance himself made reference to a $274.5 million project for the Montego Bay Perimeter Road, which is to begin now to ease some of that pressure and to create a bypass, Madam Speaker, of some 25 kilometers of roadways. We have also, Madam Speaker, from the International Finance Corporation, the good work of our minister, that we will be able to provide the corridor from Rose Hall to Ocheres to create a new opportunity for access and connectivity on the North Coast, bypassing the bottleneck areas of Priory and Discovery Bay and Runaway Bay and so on. But more importantly, Madam Speaker, for us in the West, a continuation of the bypass road that will start in Montego Bay to bypass the Hopewell, a rail bottleneck, and Lucy, a rail bottleneck, so that access to Negril will be easy. And Madam Speaker, all of these are very important issues that we know they represent challenges, but the good news is that we are responding to them and we're responding well. Our Minister of National Security and our Minister of Transport have been working with the airport, and we have had bottlenecks in the airport, as we know, as a consequence also of the recovery and the extent to which the recovery has been strong. We now have real difficulty maneuvering in the immigration halls and so on of the Montego Bay International Airport in particular. And the good news is that the investment is there. 70 million the Prime Minister announced for further addition, the extension of the runway, and there's going to be an improvement of the immigration and the reception halls. We are going to make sure that the visitor facilitation, resulting also from the use of technology, better technology, e-gates to be established, Madam Speaker, right? We're going to dispense with the C5 form so that visitors coming to Jamaica now on the plane don't have to fill out any forms anymore, and you'll be able to come and your data, your biometric information will be there so that you can. So, Madam Speaker, all these are very important part of the facilitation that we are involving in to remove and ease the challenges that I indicate to you resulting from our recovery. Madam Speaker, we have already spoken to much of what we want to do in terms of building the platform and the architecture for the way forward. The labor market, Madam Speaker, is a major concern for us. And I want to make that point very clear because at another point earlier in the financial debate, I heard comments in regards to the labor market arrangements, and I agree. We have to do something about it. And we have been. That's the good news. Because with the training program that we've had, is to build what we call stackable credentials in the industry so that we can classify the workers of the industry and by so doing remunerate according to classification. That will be a game changer in terms of the whole labor market arrangement. Providing social development through housing, which we have spoken about, the pension plan that we have had. And all these are vital elements to change the whole labor market arrangement and to make the tourism sector a more attractive place for workers and for better rewards for the workers of the industry. But a question that is there for us, Madam Speaker, is that we don't want to just be talking about it without evidence base. And we are driven by evidence base. Our action and our policies are driven by evidence base. So we have established, Madam Speaker, a task force headed by Dr. Waller, and already we have put out the RFP for consultants to come in and for us to look carefully now at all the elements, bring in the trade unions and everybody else to let us look at the labor market arrangements in tourism so that we can find a path that will enable us to recover well and to not leave a single worker behind. Madam Speaker, innovation is at the heart of the way forward for tourism. And we believe in investing in ideas. And you might have heard me only last week in Washington calling on the IFIs to invest in ideas. And tourism for us is built on ideas. It's always about what's new. It's always about what's different. It's always how you can add value and do something better than somebody else somewhere else. And that's why we are spending, Madam Speaker, $40 million on bringing young people into an incubator arrangement with ideas. Already, we have 17 groups, and I think it's 27 young people. Some of them are here. Anyone to raise your hand? Yes? Young people from the incubator? Yes, yes, yes. And Madam Speaker, what they're saying is that these are young people with no capital. These are people with no collateral. These are people whose only collateral are their ideas. And we put treasure on ideas because that's how we're going to make the difference in tourism in the future. And so we are training and building their capacity. But we're doing more than that. When these 17, this first cohort is finished in May, then they need now to have startups. And they need to transfer from the state of ideas where the goods and services are being determined into action. And we are putting $100 million from our fund, Madam Speaker, to enable that transition, working with NBJ and with the Ministry of Finance to make sure that we can expand the group of young people from across Jamaica who will be the real definers of the new experiences of tourism for the future. We're excited about that, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we are strong in building capacity to add more visitors to the country. And airlift, airlift, airlift. Everybody says that. You don't swim to Jamaica. You have to fly. And so we are active out there, Madam Speaker, getting new airlines to come to Jamaica. We have expansions with the American Airlines Group, Frontier Airlines, Spirit Airlines, Arajet, a new carrier that is coming from Damreps to Jamaica now. and also with back-end arrangements into South America. We're going into dealing, Madam Speaker, with expanding the work of Latam from Peru, Avianca from Colombia, Copa Airlines, and next week, Madam Speaker, the team which I will lead with the Director of Tourism and Delano, will be going to the Arabian travel market to engage the big four from the GCC countries. That is Saudi and a new airline that they have just from out of Jeddah, and Qatar and Emirates. Yesterday, Emirates sent me their miniature 387. So when you come to my office now, you'll see the Emirates 387. Now that the runway has been expanded, and we hope to have that ready by summer, right, at MBJ, we will be able to say when we go to Dubai next week, to Emirates, yes, you can start thinking now about flying to Montego Bay and then be able to remain from Montego Bay. So, Madam Speaker, our cruise industry is back on track. We are expecting to go back to new ways at the end of summer this year. But, Madam Speaker, I want to close this section because I know that there's another opportunity at the back end. And so I'm going to save some more of this for the back end. But, Madam Speaker, I cannot close without talking about the investment opportunities that we, and I want to, Madam Speaker, Minister of Finance will bear with me if I boast a little bit. Because I believe that this investment portfolio that tourism is unfolding now is the largest and most impressive in the history of tourism in Jamaica. 20,000 new rooms to come, Madam Speaker, over the next 5 to 10 years. And they are distributed in St. Anne. We have Palm Beach Villa with 100 rooms. Secrets Resort, 700 rooms. Bahia Principe for 2,500 more. Sandals Royal Duns River, 1,000. Sandals, yes, a total here of 570 plus 400, 900 rooms from Sandals alone in St. Anne. Madam Speaker, in Trelawney, Harmony Cove, yes. Minister of Finance, Harmony Cove, yes, 1,000 room and more. Planet Hollywood for 650 rooms. The real Aquil, 753. That should be finished early next year. And of course, Excellence Oyster Bay, 50 rooms. Over in St. James, Madam Speaker, the Unico Hard Rock Casino and associated hotels, 2,000 rooms. In Vista Ambassadors, 432 rooms. Dream Resort, 280 rooms. And over in Hanover, the new Star, Hanover will have 4,000 new rooms in the next 3 years. Princess with 2,000, Grand Palladium 950, Viva Wyndham 1,000, and Sanders the Grill. I don't even put a figure there yet because Adam don't finish telling me how many rooms are going to be there added there. So, Madam Speaker, what we're saying here is that when you add that to Westmoreland, and where is the member from Central Westmoreland? So, Westmoreland, and you know, every time people talk about Westmoreland and tourism, they say Negri. Right? But we have other things for them now. Savlamar. All right. Nothing more said than that. and that is going to be a game changer, Madam Speaker. That facility is going to be a game changer. Because it's not just about hotels here now. It's about creating a whole ecosystem, a whole tourism ecosystem in Paradise in Westmoreland. Madam Speaker, for the metropolitan area of Kingston, the Hilton 300 room that is about to come on stream. And of course, you remember the ROK downtown. And when you look at what has happened downtown, Madam Speaker, it's a statement that yes, downtown, Member Williams, downtown can come back alive. And I'm proud to see in the short space of time with that 168 room facility there, what they have done and how profitable, as important, it has been in the 3 months. So, Madam Speaker, Portland, Dragon Bay, Portland, and Portland is set, Madam Speaker, with the Prime Minister's program to become the real mecca of what I call sustainable tourism. And we're working on that high-end tourism. St. Thomas is the new oyster in the east. We have already done the work on that, and yes, and the team have done the detailed research on it, and we are ready. And there's right now a local investor from St. Thomas with 1,000 rooms in St. Thomas. And in addition, I'm talking with some investors from the Dominican Republic. They were here a few weeks ago, and they want to come down and look at creating a whole village, a tourism village, similar to the one they have in the Dominican Republic. I'm not calling any name at this time. But it will tell you, St. Thomas is ready for the move. And the Prime Minister has made all the investments in there right now. The roadway, the Southern Highway, has now become the real access point for new development in that area. Less than an hour from Norman Manley Airport to any part of St. Thomas now. That's music to the ears of investors. Madam Speaker, we are excited about, we have St. Mary. St. Mary, I'm telling you, I'm discussing now. Yes. You don't want to tell them that. Because the St. Mary product is going to be a little different from what we have elsewhere. It's, besides villas being the mainstay along that corridor, the Jamaica Riviera, as we're calling it. Right? It's going to be a higher end of product. But also, it's going to be tied to entertainment. Because there's a group that is now having that discussion with us that we won't say very much more yet until later on. Madam Speaker, the shared economy. The shared economy, Madam Speaker, has become, in our point, the most innovative of what we call the process of democratization in tourism. The ownership of the accommodation sector is seeing a transition. But it's not a transition that is going to eviscerate any. It's a transition that is going to add value to many. Because now, with the sharing economy, Madam Speaker, tourism is in every crevice and corner of Jamaica. You see tourists down Trenchtown. You see tourists on Maxwell Avenue. You see that Spanish Town. You see them in Red Hills Road. You see them up in Octen Betty. And Minnesota, you know, come. They're all over the place because of the shared economy. Most people refer to it as Airbnb. Madam Speaker, just to let you know that 29% of the visitors who came to Jamaica last year came through Airbnb. And they, Madam Speaker, I don't know. And they, Madam Speaker. And they, Madam Speaker, said tourism is for the big man. And the little people are not inserted therein. I just want to say again, Madam Speaker, that never before in the history of Jamaica has tourism done so much for the economy of Jamaica. So, Madam Speaker, in closing, really I want to just indicate that the future of tourism is bright in Jamaica. We have the vision, we have the sense of it, and we are driven by a mission that will create an inclusive industry for our country. So, Madam Speaker, I just want to say that we will continue to push forward with the key priority projects and initiatives to shape tourism governance infrastructure to boost the sustainable development of the sector. Madam Speaker, we will build capacity by upskilling and certifying thousands of Jamaicans to work in the tourism industry. We want to create secure future for our tourism workers through the Tourism Workers Pension Plan and adequate, affordable housing. We want to strengthen the linkages, Madam Speaker, with other sectors of the economy, particularly agriculture and manufacturing, and to provide a benefit for more small farmers, farmers with 1 acre, half acre, quarter acre, 3 acres, no more than 5 acres, so that they can have a place in the sun and get a piece of the tourism pie. We want to ensure, Madam Speaker, that the small and medium tourism enterprises, the little guys, the little taxi man, the little juta man, the little maxi taxi man, all have an opportunity to have a stake in the tourism industry and to provide funding for them. We want to boost the industry for local communities through festivals, more coffee festival, more rum festival, more bacchanal, more festival. Madam Speaker, we want to boost the benefit of the industry to our local communities by expanding the Spruce Up program to allow more communities to get a benefit from the industry. We want to promote broader participation by all Jamaicans. We want to ensure, above all now, Madam Speaker, and I want our opposition and everybody to sharing this one with me, we want to ensure safety, security, and sustainability of our natural and built resources. We want to invest millions of dollars from Jamaican funds. We want more Jamaicans, Madam Speaker, to be inserted in this rich, lucrative tourism value chain. Yes, this government, for the first time, can say more has been done for the economy of Jamaica because of tourism than any other time in our history. God bless you.
You've been listening to Paro 106 FM's live coverage of the contribution to the 2023 budget debate, and the speaker was the Honourable Minister of Tourism, the Honourable Edmund Bartlett. There's a little more. Oh, the closing. Let's go to the closing.
The preceding coverage of the opening sectoral debate presentation by the Minister of Tourism, the Honourable Edmund Bartlett, was brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism.
And so, with the conclusion of our coverage of this afternoon sectoral debate involving the Minister of Tourism, the Honourable Edmund Bartlett, we now continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM. Ronald Movitated says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Hello, viewers. And Ramsey has the initials BSFTS, a symbol of 100 and what look like fireworks. Malcolm's Building and Trading.com saying, blessed day to all. Life is a blessing, so all have to give thanks for. Please be safe and keep doing good. And they go on to say, Sir Malcolm, long life to you, more strength. Thank you very much. Same to you. Dwight Spence says, bless up to all, just checking in. And Ramsey says, good info. And she also says, your show is 100. You're very kind, Anne Ramsey. Good afternoon and welcome to our other listeners who have joined us since the last time we checked. And we have quite a few of those. Rani Bell is in St. Thomas. Good afternoon, Rani Bell. Sophia Nemad is in Newell, St. Elizabeth. Inez Ayona Campbell is, I believe, in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Joan Edgehill is in Central Florida. She says, good afternoon to you, Mr. Dervan, to you too. Joan Edgehill, all the very best. Thank you for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Let's hop across to YouTube and see what's happening over there. Or was that YouTube? That was YouTube. And we checked out Facebook Live already. So we now need to go to WhatsApp. Let's find out what's up on WhatsApp. Quite a number of messages have been coming in, and we want to be fair to all those who have been messaging us by going to the beginning, the starting point. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 leftover messages from yesterday, and we're going to add some more to those today. Richard says, Mr. Malcolm, please enlighten this guy because he's talking too much nonsense in front of intelligent people. Let's look at the cost of one Colombian dollar per US, and then he will understand, Richard. That was a discussion from yesterday. Thank you for your message. Franklin McDonald says, Dervan, I have just sent you the link to 2 documents related to development in Jamaica in response to one of your something here asking if there are such guidelines. Both his documents are available via Google. I hope your listeners will find this useful. And this is on the subject of institutions versus policies, a tale of two islands is the caption. Here's another message. Sir Dervan, what is your view in having at least one representative from the diaspora in the upper house and having them vote in our elections? I would love to have them in the house and to vote. Well, that can't and won't happen overnight or in one go. It will need to be distilled and stirred and examined, and ultimately a decision arrived at as to the significance such a position will hold and the impact, if any, on the governance structure, etc. So, Dervan, you need to set a time limit for each caller and not to have a runaway like your last male caller. Some of these callers are are something metered and have no respect for others who are waiting and with limited credit. Is it because he's calling from overseas? Hope not. The gentleman is correct by saying there is very little going on with agriculture. If we divide 1 by 153, we get 0.006. Our money is weak. That must be the breaking story of the week. Really? We're just learning that? More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:30. Need water for agricultural purposes? Apply to the National Irrigation Commission for your irrigation services. Let's grow smart and eat smart with irrigated agriculture. Call National Irrigation Commission at 876-927-6727. Visit their website at www.nicjamaica.com or visit any of their office locations today. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture. Farming today is becoming more technologically driven. No wonder Jacto farming equipment has the cutting edge. With Jacto, you are guaranteed sprayers that are durable, user-friendly, low maintenance, have controlled application, efficient and practical. Call Caribbean Chemicals Jamaica at 876-757-0022 and inquire about our Jacto manual and battery-operated sprayers and our tractor-mounted boom and cannon sprayers. You are an exporter, helping to elevate the face of our international trade. But in order to do that, and all the other tasks on your list, you need someone that understands you. We know that finding adequate collateral as a SME can sometimes be challenging, which is why we've partnered with our friends at JMB to bring you the Exim Expert Guarantee to give you that extra collateral support where you may need it. Call Exim Bank to find out more about the Exim Export Guarantee. Exim Bank. By helping businesses, we save lives and livelihood.
Come to Stewart's Hardware 2-day Spring Super Sale. Friday, April 28th and Saturday, April 29th. 2 days filled with super discounts. Get all the hardware, houseware, plants, and lots more of all you've always wanted at super sweet prices. You simply can't afford to miss Stewart's Hardware Spring Sale. That's April 28th and 29th. There'll be fantastic savings just for you. Stewart's Hardware and Home Center, building value.
Get ready for Expo Jamaica 2023. We're connecting the world to Jamaica with over 350 Jamaican exhibits in manufacturing, exports, produce, agriculture, tourism, and services. Bring out your family and friends. Friday, April 28th, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. National Indoor Sports Center to the National Arena. Adults $1,500. Children under 12, $500. Expo Jamaica. Do it, thing, support it. Hosted by the JMEA, powered by the Ministry of Industry, Investment, and Commerce. Check social media for details.
Spider says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Do you know if we have animal shelters in Jamaica? We have 10 puppies. They're eating on their own. Also, just need someone who loves dogs. Spider, you've put it out there. Let's see who responds. But in terms of shelters, I know there is the Jamaica Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, JSPCA. They have a couple of locations, as I'm remembering it. One of these locations is at the intersection of Winchester Road and Hope Road near Halfway Tree. And there's another one, or was that one removed? I think one used to be in Trenchtown off Spanish Town Road, just as you pass that area with that street with the gully in the middle for a long stretch. I think there used to be a JSPCA facility in that area. Well, you've put it out there, Spider. Let's see who is able to take advantage of this opportunity. Let's clear some more messages in the meantime. Barbara says, good morning. Grandma, be encouraged. All right. That's a video, actually. Michael from Belle Plaine in Clarendon says, good afternoon, teacher, to you and Power 106 family. I'm here home listening to you, teacher. You're my only help, my pension. I went to the bank yesterday without getting my pension. It always comes in the bank from the 15th of each month. When I used to get it from the post office, I did not have any problem. Teacher, keep safe. You're my only help. God bless you. Well, we need to speak with, and I remember his name now. There are a couple of very customer service oriented team members. There are quite a few of them at the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. And we perhaps need to get in a word with at least one of them to find out what's happening or not happening. Donovan White has sent a couple of voice notes, which we'll have to listen to off air. Clarky Bless in Hunstown, St. Mary says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Happy Tuesday to you and your listeners. What is going on with the war between Ukraine and Russia? Not hearing a lot about it these days. Any updates? Well, we hope it's not the calm before the storm. Otherwise, well, it could be the apocalypse in a manner of speaking. Right. No, I mean, the updates you can get at any time, actually. You just Google Ukraine or Ukraine war or something like that, and you will get the daily news stories. News about Ukraine war, Russia Ukraine war, Putin visits occupied Kherson region. That's spelled Kerson, but the experts I've heard pronouncing that name say Kherson, Kherson, like person, Kherson, Kherson. So Russia Ukraine war live. Putin visits occupied Kherson region. U.S. journalist appears in where's the rest of this? Appears in Moscow. UK has condemned the sentencing of Russian opposition activist, and that is Vladimir. Where's the rest of the name? Uh, right. So the story, the news of the day is that Putin and Zelensky, Vladimir Putin and 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 uh, and Volodymyr Zelensky today visited troops near the front line. So this story is Russian president in southern Kherson region, while Ukrainian counterpart seen in Avdiivka. Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, visited Ukrainian troops in Avdiivka, Donetsk region. His office says Zelensky listened to commanders' reports on the battlefield situation and gave awards to soldiers. A Russian judge has rejected an appeal by the Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich against the decision to hold him in detention before his trial on charges of espionage. Ukraine's government has criticized Luis Inacio Lula da Silva for his efforts to broker a peace deal between Kiev and Moscow and invited the Brazilian leader to visit the war torn country and see for himself the consequences of the Russian invasion. The Ukrainian First Deputy Prime Minister, Yulia Shridenko, has said that the Black Sea grain deal faced the threat of being halted. That's significant for those who are dependent on those commodities. It is under threat of being halted, and Russia has again blocked the inspection of ships. Shridenko told a news conference in Warsaw, that's in Poland. Poland has said that it has reached an agreement on restarting transit of Ukrainian grains through its territory as of Friday, according to Polish Agriculture Minister Robert Telus. The maker of Sweden's Absolut vodka has said it is ceasing all exports to Russia after calls to boycott and brand flared up. Calls to boycott the brand flared up in Sweden and on social media, Agence France Presse reported. Security concerns have prompted Russian authorities this year to cancel traditional nationwide Victory Day processions, where people carry portraits of relatives who fought against Nazi Germany in the Second World War, Reuters has reported a lawmaker as saying on Tuesday. And finally, for now, Russia is not yet planning to block Wikipedia, its Minister of Digital Affairs said on Tuesday as a Moscow court handed the online encyclopedia another fine for failing to remove content Russia deems illegal. So for those who wanted their fill of stories coming out of Ukraine and Russia, there's a bit for you, courtesy of the Guardian newspaper in the UK. Your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello.
Blessed morning.
Good afternoon.
Blessed news. I see all got some information there. It touch your finger in. Tell me something. Jamaica government, what them say, Bob the Green, the government of Jamaica signed agreement with Ethiopia Crown Council. You know that thing that make me hear. So.
First time hearing about that.
Must you say what? Jamaica government signed agreement with Ethiopia Crown Council. Yes, I can't find it. There's no reason to start with funny.
On Wednesday, October 19, 2022, in Kingston, Jamaica. Sounds like you're recording it. We're getting a bit of feedback.
No, I'm not do it.
On Wednesday, October 19, 2022, in Kingston, Jamaica, the Honorable Madam Olivia Grange, on behalf of the Jamaican government and myself, on behalf of the Crown Council of Ethiopia, in the presence of my delegation and the media, signed a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, agreeing to erect a statue of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie, in National Heroes Park in Kingston, Jamaica, during the next fiscal year. That's what we've found.
No more reading.
That's what we've found.
Oh, come here, you say, they might link up Jamaica with Ethiopia. I think some more reason for that. The thing I read. Anyway, give thanks to that information. So we calling upon Bob the Green and this Jamaica government and our current government who did went to Ethiopia 1961, then a delegation, the reason the Emperor of Ethiopia, Selassie, concerning repatriation of black people back to Africa. You don't know about that one?
That's in addition to the bit that we just read?
No, this one I'm not telling about now. It was 1961 by the government of Jamaica, send a delegation to Ethiopia.
Yes, that one is well known.
Well known.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the subject of repatriation. That is from 1961, you know. So the government of Jamaica well know the mission of repatriation, because them send a delegation to the king, and the king said, in reply, said to them, say, you know that slavery come from Ethiopia, come in the West here, especially here in Jamaica. And we are blood brothers and sisters, you know? And him, the emperor in Ethiopia, can host all of the people, black people, people of African ancestry, who desire to come home to Africa.
One moment, please.
For any project, ABC Electrical Sales has all your electrical supplies at the best prices. 8 Hagley Park Road, Kingston, 7543714.
Some places feel empty.
All right, we hear you loud and clear, but as we said, don't take it to heart. Don't put it on your head.
And I'm asking the NAA to try his best to see how best we can fix some of the road, pave the road. Mr. Malcolm, I leave Montego Bay to go to Savlamar, look around that. And let me tell you this, Mr. Malcolm, I don't drive more 40 miles than 50, right? And let me tell you, going on the left, sometimes I find myself on the right, sometimes I find myself serving to the left. My hands are in pain because the road is not level, it is not steady. I mean, look at that stretch of road from Montego Bay to South. And you want to tell me I can't get a little ease and be moving from the right to the left? We must have these accidents, you know, because if you don't comply to the speed limit, you're going to have problems because there's no way on this road you can drive more than 25 miles. And there's no way on this road. Every corner, I remember, seen an accident already. So the road needs to look after, man. You can't drive on the left and find yourself on the right. And you're not going fast. It's because of the bump. It's because of the way they fling you. No, man. We need to get on with the business, man, especially the main major roads. The local roads, you can see with it.
Yeah, that's not going to end anytime soon because the problem is quite intractable. It requires a lot of resources as well, billions and billions of dollars.
I can pave the road from Anchovy straight to Rumble in 2 weeks. And you can run on that road without dropping in a pothole.
You have the resources to pave the road?
Mr. Malcolm, if we join together, if the people in this region have several billions of dollars, you know, for insurance, you know, because I pay my own. And if I check the vehicle in this region, billions of dollars for insurance and license, they can do better, man.
Well, do what you can and preserve your sanity in the meantime. You don't want to lose it because of someone you regard as a road hog. You don't want to lose it.
No.
Along those lines.
Let's hope the government coming in with some good policies for 2024 so that we can get on with the business with production. I want to see miles of corn, sweet potato, you name it.
Hope springs eternal.
And we're going to have to use grassroots solution, you know. We're going to have to use grassroots solution. I want to build a storage right now to store.
But you've been telling us about that idea for a long time, though. What happened? No funds?
The funds is the problem, Charlie. Most money never gets to buy at 60,000. And when they pay off, I was worse off. So I'm so much afraid of the banks. They line with lion and dragon.
Yeah, well, as we said, don't take it to heart, as my late mother would say. Don't take it to heart, and don't keep it on your head.
I plant a lot of blue banana. You see, Mr. Malcolm?
Yeah, I've been hearing you telling everybody about the blue bananas.
I don't have hand to sell it, right? Because it is not plenty and it's long to, it's not much we have, right? And if I could get land to plant banana.
How do you expect to get the land?
Well, even if I have to dump up some of the salt pan in the coming year.
Really?
I have to ramp up production.
On your own?
Yes.
Don't you need permission to do that?
Well, permission will come. Well, it's production I want. So if I can get the land, I'm going to dump up some of the salt pan.
We hear you. Sorry.
Production may say, no, Mr. Malcolm.
Yes.
And the production we want.
Yeah.
That's the way forward. Me now back down. And a whole heap of us in this region interested in production.
Well, go for it and continue to produce. Thank you for the call. All the best. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Andrew Lyons says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I, on behalf of Jamaican, want to ask you a question. Have you in the last enough years ever hear any arguments that go against criminal and people who go killing innocent people? We, the Jamaican people, are listening for your answer. Well, the question answers itself, Andrew Lyons. It answers itself. It's not a case of the. It's not a case. The people can't try themselves and convict themselves. It's on the basis of the evidence and how incriminating that evidence is. That's what it comes down to, and the decisions are made from there on. Justice is not about love, it's not about hate, it's not about war, it's not about peace, it's not about honesty, trust, truth, integrity. It perhaps isn't even about justice. It's about proving beyond, especially if we're talking criminal law, proving beyond a reasonable doubt that someone is innocent or otherwise. Proving beyond a reasonable doubt that someone is innocent or otherwise. And then the law will take its course after that. There's no magic there. Sorry to disappoint you, Andrew Lyons. No magic there. Faye Weller says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and faithful listeners. Good afternoon, Faye Weller. The eponymous Paul Miles of the eponymous Paul Miles Foundation says, good day, Dervan and all listeners. To you too, Paul Miles. Thank you very much for your message. Asher Ash in London, England, tuning in as usual. Good to have you on board. And Anne Ramsey says, BSOTS, both sides of the story. Good vibes always. Thank you very much for those messages. Let's hop across to WhatsApp and see what's happening. Going through some messages now. Leroy Robinson says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. I haven't got any pension, I beg your pardon. Can you tell me what to do? My name is Leroy Robinson. Yeah, we haven't been able to get through to any of the individuals who are usually helpful on these matters. And so we don't yet have that contact information to be able to arrange an interview to find out what is the situation with your pension. And this one says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. The minister made 11.75 billion from Garth, guest accommodation room tax. What's the H for? Please inquire. Thank you. Airbnb, Angela. What kind of puppies? So this person is taking us back to a section of the tourism minister's presentation and what he said, and what somebody in the parliament said about Airbnb, and matching those initials A, B, and B with the name, the abbreviated name of Angela Brown Burke. And for the question of what kind of puppies, that's a message. Who was that from? Was it Spider, who has some dogs that he is perhaps putting up for sale or otherwise passing on to those who would have an interest in raising these puppies. Yaga Rose says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. After all these years, they are finally starting the work at Mile under the bridge to make it look better. You mean at 3 miles? Yes, I noticed that. Some stones were spread across the area, or bramble, whatever they call it. And he says, Dervan, is there an animal shelter in Jamaica for dogs, especially puppies? I only know of the JSPCA location at the corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road. Don't know of. And I used to pass one on near Trenchtown at the intersection there of Spanish Town Road and that stretch of road with a gully in the middle of it. And Cuban in Georgia says, "Good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. How are you doing today? I'm fine, thanks. One moment, please."
I hear babies cry. You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15.
The Auto World.
It's the only program on Jamaican radio dedicated to the world of automobile. It's the Auto World with Shelly and McLagan. Get news and reviews relating to vehicles and automotive technology. Learn the ins and outs of mechanical operation. Find out about the various stakeholders in the local and international automotive sectors. From auto finance to road safety to motorcycles, the Auto World is your one-stop shop for everything auto. That's the Auto World with Shelly and McLagan. Weekdays at 5:15 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
The bright, blessed day. The dark
Que hora es en español? Son las 4:16. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 4:16. 现在几点了？4点10分. 16 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. So here's a message from Cuban in Georgia. He says, "Good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. How are you doing today? Sir Malcolm, I'm tackling the serious concerns of adult Jamaicans reading and writing programs because I know of Jamal. What happened to that reading and writing program for adults Jamaicans to go to school or evening classes to educate themselves to understand what is really happening here in Jamaica? Minister Tourism is a low-hanging fruit at the top of the government investment and expenditure. Minister, what about the housing and living conditions of the workers in the tourism industry? What about a livable wage and transportation for the workers in tourism industries, which have to beg the guests for money because they get little or nothing for their wages? We would like to think it's not as bad as you're making it out to be, Cuban in Georgia. People are earning a living. It might not be where they would love to be, but surely they are making the most of the little that they have, aren't they? And this one says, Minister, until the workers get a title and a key to a home, we can believe any of these politicians' promises to the citizens of Jamaica because we have heard those promises before. Not good enough, Minister. You have to come better than that, says Cuban in Georgia. But at the same time, he was applauding in Parliament. We're seeing clapping hands here. Here, here, Minister. Here, 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 here. Here, here, Minister Bartlett. Here, here. So you're sending mixed messages then, Cuban in Georgia. Then he goes on to say, Sir Malcolm, how can we get the JMEA to invest in educational and learning programs for the adult Jamaicans who want to work and are willing to retool themselves back in the workforce for an honest, livable wage? Ever heard of Heart NSTA Trust, Cuban in Georgia? That's the place. That's the place. And back to Spider. Spider says, Mr. Malcolm, the roads are a disgrace. This country punish small business. Is there any more island in the Caribbean that you have to use a green plate on your private transportation to transport a sheet of ply? Don't know enough about that to comment further on it, but surely if it's something in the Road Traffic Act, just yesterday I was at a function doing emceeing duties, and the minister without portfolio in the office of the prime minister was there, and he was in fact encouraging those gathered in the room, if they are suspicious of or are questioning or wanting to question particular sections of the act, they should be free to do so and make their submissions, because the government at this stage is still open to making adjustments. That's what the Honorable Floyd Green said at that function yesterday, which was of a road safety nature, the second in a series of workshops, defensive driving workshops, put on by Grinnell's Driving School in partnership with their sponsors. So that happened yesterday, and Floyd Green was there because he has some responsibility for the National Road Safety Council. The Minister of Transport and Mining was traveling, and so he wasn't able to attend. Velta Wilson says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. Good afternoon, Velta Wilson. Thank you very much for joining us, and all the very best to you. And let's clear. I tell you what, let's go to David Crosburn now, who has been holding for the past 11 minutes. Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Crosburn. Please go ahead. Sounds like the children are not ready for us yet, though. I don't want you to interrupt the children's play, but you might have to find a room or somewhere else so that the children can continue playing. Are you there?
Yes, good afternoon to you and your listeners.
Good afternoon. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, just on the discussion you had with Dervan last week and on marriage. It was so instructive. I enjoyed every moment of the discussion.
What was that again? I didn't hear the topic.
Marriage. Neville was questioning about marriage, and your name went into a discussion on it.
Marriage.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sounded like something else. Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Mm.
I remember on International Women's Day, you read from Proverbs 31.
Who can find a virtuous woman?
Most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But instructively, it was the king's mother, King Lemuel. It was she who told the king about the virtuous woman. But before that, he gave her some instruction for a man towards a woman, which is quite instructive. But my point is, I have been married for 14,186 days. And
that's impressive. You've been counting. Is that you're counting down the days or counting up the days?
Counting up. 14,186. I can tell you this. It has been a journey, and a very rewarding journey, and an experience that I'm thankful for. As the person who I grew up with in Liston, he always said to me that, listen, there's no perfect woman.
That's right.
The woman you see, she might have all the fours, 34, 24, 34. And yet somebody would say, there goes a woman with 34, 24, 34. And yet a next person would despise her, you know?
Yes.
So it's just what the man feels about the woman. And I just encourage anybody else that it is not a journey. Like the minister who, Reverend Lenny Brown, he said to me, listen, the path you're taking is so small. The both of you cannot walk on it unless you become one. And then he asked the question, how does two become one? Two becomes one when you are my beloved and I am your beloved.
Yes, and they say the two become one and spend the rest of their lives wondering which one.
Well, indeed, it's when really you are my beloved and I am your beloved. That really is the crux of the matter and make the journey
more fluid,
amenable to both. Yes, indeed. So I just say to Neville that it's a good journey because even all the scriptures in Genesis 2 and verse 18, it says, it is not good for a man to be alone, you know. So I just encourage everyone, no perfect one, to make the best of each other. And it's a good journey and a good, the words of the artist Atlantic Star, it's just for you to ensure that you have found your masterpiece, you know. I have found my masterpiece and I will treasure you. And let us treasure each other and make the journey be good.
Well put. Thank you very much for your
so
call.
All the very best and continue to be strong and all the very best.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Okay. Yeah,
take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Let's keep it going here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Good afternoon to Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine. He says, good afternoon, Dervan, Malcolm, and thank God for life, and shout out to all the listeners from across the world. Let's see, there's a message. I think there's a message, a couple of messages came through on the Power 106 text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-279-8598. We'll see if we can bring those into the mix as well. Thank you very much. And we continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And let's see what we have here now. Just a quick update. Right. So Let's see what this has to do with now. And it says, good day. What time is it? Almost time for the break. But essentially, good day, Sir D. I went to the agricultural show on Easter Monday. On my way home, I was stopped by the police and they ticketed me for having the fruits and plants that I bought from the show because I didn't have a CC plate. $5,000. Boy, oh boy. Anthony in Mobay. That sounds excessive. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30.
Our Talk continues to assess developments in Jamaica's education landscape by broadcasting live from the Teachers Colleges of Jamaica's Research Conference this Wednesday, April 19, under the theme, Preparing Teachers for the Next Education Task Force, Implications for National Development. Join Simon Kloskill live from the Holiday Inn Resort in Montego Bay from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for coverage of the conference. This broadcast is brought to you by the Church Teachers College. That's Power Talk this Wednesday, April 19, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. live from the Teachers Colleges of Jamaica's Research Conference at the Holiday Inn Resort in Montego Bay. Live on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
What a wonderful world.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:29. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5h-29. Tien sai, TDN le. Wo dien cha ar shir jiao fen. 29 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And let's take another call, 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello?
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm just bringing something to light here. I go to the police record place and I check out express service, right? Only to find out that the express was 5 days, but when I do the online, they have to wait 3 months time.
Whoa.
So I just wondering if there's any justice to this. Who can I go to? Who can I talk to? Because
surely the hope is that you can find someone who is reasonable, thoughtful, compassionate, understanding, and measured to help you through that situation. Hopefully you're able to find at least one person there who you can talk with and explain your situation. Huh?
Who would be that person?
I don't know. Usually they have a supervisor or a manager for customer service, etc., etc.
I don't know.
That's
I got through a lot to call you to get you guys, right? Because I think these things need to come to light, right?
Yes.
Because from what I understand, express is something that you get quickly, right?
That's right.
3 months.
No, 3 months is not express. That's not express. That's not express. That doesn't make any sense.
Robbery, right? You're paying for something because you don't want to wait the 21 days.
So you knowingly paid them the money with the understanding that you would get the document in 3 months?
No, I paid the money knowing that I would get it in 5 days. Because they have two different things at the tax office. One, which is the express, you pay 5,000, I think 6,000, and then they have one that you pay for 3,000. So I'm trying not to go on the long list, so I pay the 6,000. Only to find out that I have to wait 3 months' time.
Yeah, that's problematic. In fact, there's a similar scenario which was brought to our attention by one of our regular listeners. That's Ellie, brought that to our attention. And well, she hasn't, I'm not sure if she has gotten back to us via WhatsApp or some other means to say how she managed with her situation, because we did encourage her to go back and try and find somebody there she can talk to explain to them her situation so they could act accordingly.
Okay.
So what
So,
we
so the person can go back and like speak to a supervisor.
Yes, man, you have to get somebody in authority, a decision maker, to say to them, this is my situation. I have a timeline, I have a deadline I'm trying to meet, and my future plans are on the line here, and I need to get my document as quickly as possible. What else do I need to do? And hopefully the person doesn't suggest something under the table, because then that wouldn't, that's not the kind of thing you want to be involved in.
No.
Right? So we that's what I would do. I would go there, or I would go there and seek audience with the closest decision maker to the customer service area. That's what I would do, quite frankly.
Okay, I'm gonna take your advice.
You see, because
need to come to light.
because here's what happens. Here's what usually happens. There's an attempt at standardizing the responses and the solutions effectively to different issues that people have. So it's usually standardized or locked in a box, so to speak. And so they give you the standard verbiage. We're sorry, sir, but this would need the intervention of whatever. They'll just tell you a bag of things, because that's how they were trained. So we hope you're able now to find someone who has not been transformed into a robot, who just gives you the information because they're programmed to give you the information. We're hoping you're able to find somebody who is a living, feeling, breathing human being, who is in a position to understand, to reason, to compromise, and ultimately to deliver the kind of customer service that so many of our people are in desperate need of.
Yeah. I mean, you have to take a day to do things like this from work, and then the end of the day, it's not working.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we thank you for bringing it to our attention. I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, or if you're able to send us a WhatsApp message.
Yeah, I can do that.
Just with the basic information, just as a reminder, so we can follow up. So that number is 365.
Okay, 365.
3346.
3346. Okay, I'll do that.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
Sure. Thanks for the call. Sorry to hear of your situation. Hope you get it resolved, but please get in touch. Please let us know how it goes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Let's go back to the phone lines. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. I want to cry. I am in such distress. I cannot comprehend that such a thing could be possible, that a lawful citizen is driving in his car going home with his goods that he bought lawfully. Everything is all lawful. And you're stopped by the police and you're punished. I expect this to be in Nazi in a Nazi place, not in Jamaica where people just come out of slavery. It's impossible. It's not the Jamaican spirit I knew when I was young. It's not possible. Do we have only miscreants ruling over us? Psychopaths? Why is this allowed? Why is it allowed? Why is this mistake here? Why, when they make the law, they don't think and ask questions? They have 100 people making the law. They all can think and work things out. How is this possible?
Yeah,
That's what I want to know. I would love to talk to a power person and say this and say these very words to him. How could he be so cruel? Are they not thinking? Don't they get paid to think? I am sad, sir.
yeah,
It's depressing, I tell you.
it needs to be examined. It needs to be
Of
brought.
course, it has to be examined.
Yeah.
It is impossible to know which country on earth
Yeah, because
would be happy with this.
I mean, if you're coming from the show, in this case, the Montpellier show, you
Yes.
saw some plants and you decided to buy those plants so you could take them home and
Yes.
start a garden, backyard garden, vegetable garden,
Yes.
whatever it is, or otherwise. I can't imagine. I could understand if you had things protruding from your vehicle.
Yes.
That would be a
Yes.
totally different thing. But to have the items secured in your vehicle, so you on your own steam went to the event, flowers are being sold, you're a lover of flowers and plants and trees and so on, you decide to put them in your vehicle. And assuming they were all locked in, so to speak, and no protrusion,
Right.
there should be nothing wrong with that. I can't imagine why you would get a ticket for $5,000 for that.
And why is it that the officer, in his own mind, he can't see that this is not necessarily an infraction? Why he can't see that in himself?
But this is the thing, because the police are supposed, well, they have some room to act with a level of discretion. They have some discretionary powers there to say, all right, look, man, this is not really what should happen, right? But we're going to excuse it at this point because we recognize that you're a lover of plants and you obviously love a deal as well because you obviously got whatever.
So we're not allowed to travel with plants then, unless we have a special permit. Is that what they're saying?
It needs further examination. I'd love to be able to have in studio one afternoon, perhaps
Yes, please, sir, please.
a representative from the National Road Safety Council or the
Yes.
Road Safety Unit to
We're not animals, we're not
Right.
monkeys.
right.
We're thinking human beings. We need to set things right.
Yes.
Why does it have to be so difficult to be logical?
Yeah. The truth is there are some people whose only joy in life is to tell people no.
Yes. But is it
You
not
know?
the lawmaker, the legislator who wrote the law, who is to blame?
Well, responsibility, they would have to take responsibility. Yes, whoever drafted the law
Right, because it's not logical.
and those who ultimately signed off on it.
Clinton, and look how many people signed up on it. None of them are clear. You know, Mr. Malcolm, in my dealings with people, I find that in Jamaica there's a lot of psychopaths. A lot of the people I deal with are psychopaths. A psychopath is a person who cannot feel for others. There was a professor, the late professor, I don't remember his name, I think it's Hicklin. That's all?
Frederick Hicklin?
Yes. He says a lot of Jamaicans are lunatics. That's what he said. Is that true or not? What he said?
No, what I recall was a newspaper front page story while I was preparing for a broadcast at a church in Clarendon. Was it Clarendon? Yes, Clarendon. And I remember the story, which quoted extensively from the words of Dr. Earl Wright, who essentially said all of us have a touch of uh, of mental illness,
Yes.
but it's a function of how we are socialized, how we are brought up, that will determine which way we go.
Yes. Yes.
Whether on whether it becomes a slippery slope, or there is it's just a fleeting experience, if and when that kind of a mental issue
Yes.
comes on. But
We
that's the only
we
one
had
I
our
can remember. Sorry, go ahead.
yes. We had a worker the other day, sir.
Hold on a
A
moment,
man in
please.
his
One moment. One moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
April is Farmers Month, and Farm Talk is on the move, celebrating with our farmers. Join Farm Talk with
Que hora es en espagnol? Son las 5 menos 13. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5 heures moins 13. Tien tsai, ti dien le, wu dien cha shi san fen. 13 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? All right, so someone is saying, this is the listener who sent us this message earlier on, following up saying, Sir D, I beg the officer to understand the situation. He said, take a picture and show it to the judge. That is where you get leniency. This is serious. Would love to have seen a picture, yes, to see how bad could it have been. It seems a little, on the face of it, and without further and better particulars, it seems rather excessive. But we weren't there, and we would still need a little more information to be able to conclude, and maybe some visual evidence as well, assuming the driver had gone ahead and taken pictures. But it would help the rest of us to be able to see the extent to which that vehicle was carrying was loaded to carry those plants. But we have a lot of work to do in following up on these matters. We'll see what we come up with, but on the face of it, it appears excessive on the face of it. But remember, we weren't there, and we still would need further and better particulars to draw our conclusions from an informed position. But thanks for sharing nonetheless, and we wish you all the best. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112 text line, same as the WhatsApp number. So you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on a WhatsApp as well, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. And let's continue. Well, what a thing. Break in at ITA, Island Traffic Authority, road safety offices. Wonder what that is all about. Let's continue. So it's a quick. All right, that call on your end came in first. Is that it? I have 11 seconds, 12 seconds. Oh, yours came in. Okay. All right, let's go to the phone lines. 876-922-4112 to 5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Good afternoon. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Can't be nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can go through find that section of the Road Traffic Act to see what it actually says and see if we can have a word with the head of the police traffic, the public, what do they call it? PSTEB, Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch. Isn't it still Gary McKenzie? I think it's still Gary McKenzie. Mhm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, most unfortunate. Hmm. Yeah, we're making life harder for some of our people. Mm. Yeah, we're gonna have to look into that one. All right, thank you for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Let's go to a call on our text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hey, Dervan, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm very quick here.
Oh dear, I didn't realize it was this late. We have 2 minutes to news time. As quickly as
No
you
problem.
can, please.
Yeah, man. Dervan, slavery was very bad, and I know slavery, turned us into things that we're not supposed to be. But sometimes I can't help it. Why do we treat each other that way? Okay, in New York, your car. Let me just quickly here. Your vehicle, when it's registered, is based on what the vehicle was made for. So if it was made for commercial, then you have to register for commercial. If I buy a pickup or a van or anything, I can register it basically as a passenger vehicle. And I can once I carry hazmat thing, I put in life at danger. The police here would never, and as I said, things that hanging hanging off. And any event, if it's commercial and things are hanging off, you're probably gonna get a ticket.
Yeah.
But long as things are not hanging off.
Sorry, you managed to get on a little late. Sorry about that. We have to go though. We're out of time.
Yeah, man,
Thank you.
Call it tomorrow.
All right, take care. Bye bye. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Tuesday, the 18th of April, 2023. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, both sides of the story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.